All right, welcome to the Blessed Beats Live Weekend Syndicated Show. It's time for the Artist Spotlight. 2 hours of nonstop music, positive vibes, and Christian hip-hop. You can always follow the show on Blessed Beats at Blessed Beats Live on Instagram or on YouTube at Blessed Beats Media. I'm your host at Marcus Sullivan Live on Instagram. All right, Artist Spotlight time, man. We're going to talk to people who I say is doing good in the neighborhood. I got somebody who has used the streets of TikTok to make solid gold. On the show today, Miss Ide.
Ide.
Yeah, I said it right. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and actually spell your name so people will be able to find it.
Okay, well, first I want to thank you, Marcus, for allowing me to be on this show, and thank God for allowing me to do this interview with you.
Okay. Now, you spell your name.
Hayde, accent mark on the E.
And it's pronounced?
Ide.
Ide. Ide. What's your last name?
Miller.
Ide Miller, inside the Blessed Beats Live Weekend Syndicated Show. All right, a little bit about you, because I know you mostly from social media, a little bit in real life. You travel for a living, right?
I do. I travel for a major airline. I worked there for about 25 years. Currently still work there.
Okay, I thought you said worked. So you still
still work there.
All right. What made you get into the airline industry?
I was actually a nutritionist beforehand at WIC, and then I had my associate's degree in hospitality, and I said, what can I do? And so I decided to travel and to give that customer care. You
didn't like the nutrition industry at all?
I did, but I didn't see myself with a purpose there.
Yeah. You know? You're not from Houston, are you?
No, I'm from Panama.
Okay.
So
okay.
I speak Spanish.
Okay. Fluently. Yeah. So you're born and raised in Panama?
Yes.
What brought you to the States?
My stepdad.
Okay.
My stepdad got a job offer here, and we moved here.
All right. And so you got here, went to high school?
I went 1 year here in high school.
All right.
And then I proceeded to go to college.
How was the transition?
The transition was kind of hard because, you know, I had a heavy accent. I was, you know, this island girl.
I can still hear it a little bit now, but go ahead.
This island girl that everybody thought, oh, this girl thinks she's coming in here to the school. I went to Willow Ridge, so.
That's Southwest Houston, right?
Yes.
If you watching Worldwide, Southwest Houston, Willow Ridge got a lot of pro basketball players to come out of there, I think.
And athletes. And football.
Okay. All right, so you became a nutritionist. What was the spark in that? And then how come it didn't fulfill the dream?
I was working for the city of Houston, and I did it for 6 years. Okay. And then just seeing that I was every day with the same routine, and I needed something to change. I needed something to be able to go across the world and see if I can have a purpose helping others.
So going across the world was now the new. Okay, so now this is where it gets interesting for me, because this is where I know you from. Outside of doing media, for me, I've always said if media wasn't it, I'm flying. I want to be. I think that to this day, this is the only job that I could do that doesn't feel like a job, right? So how was it? You said you've been doing it like 20-some years.
Going on 25.
25. How was trying to become a flight attendant back? Or do people still say stewardess at all?
No.
Okay.
Everyone says flight
attendant. Okay, that's more respectable anyway. Becoming a flight attendant, how difficult is that? I know.
It is very difficult. You know, there's getting tens of thousands of applicants, and they only choose maybe about 100 out of them. And so going to training, it's a 4 weeks to 6 weeks training, and it's all exams. It's basically a nurse without a license.
So they only open this position like maybe once a year, maybe
once or twice a year.
So the turnover is not high at all. Like, you've been doing it 25 years. And see, I would assume there are people like you, and then there are people like me that'll come in, and in 6-8 months, I'm out of there, right?
Everyone says, oh, this is like a stepping stone. I'm just going here while I'm going to school because it's a little leeway. And then you see them years later because they end up loving the job.
Difficult situations flying? You've been through it all? Somebody getting sick, drunk on the flight? Yeah.
Medical situations, emergencies, everything.
Turbulence is real?
Turbulence is real.
All right. And so I'm not going to even ask you what airline, but 25 years, man, we got to salute anybody to do something like that. All right, so fast forward, pandemic happens, right? And the world shuts down. And in fact, I just got off a flight the other day, and a guy was telling me during the pandemic, he flew to Hawaii for like $80. It was like nobody else was flying. So
Nobody was
yeah,
flying.
so flights were cheap. Because it's so many of y'all, right? When y'all wasn't able to fly because it just wasn't flights, how'd you make a living?
Well, we were able to fly, but they gave us the option to stay at home. So they were paying us half of our salary to stay at home, and then whoever chose to do that.
Wait, this is for the 25-year people or these I came in last month?
Yeah, anyone that worked a certain amount within a 12-month period, they calculated your pay and they gave you half the salary.
You was eating during the pandemic, huh? You was chilling.
I stayed home.
All right, I would, and me, I'd have been out there trying to get it in. So I'm assuming you've been all over the world. Like you've been everywhere.
I haven't been everywhere, but I've been quite a few places. I've been to Barcelona. I've been to Hawaii. Panama, Jamaica.
Okay, so I remember back in the day when I worked in the mall, right? My teenagers, the mall was like the spot to work at. You remember those days, right? The mall was where it was. And then I got a job at the mall, and that was the last place I wanted to be, right? Like, if to this day, when I walk in the mall, I'm like, yeah, I feel bad for the people who work there. You there all the time. Flying for a living. When it's time for vacation, you probably is like, I just want to stay
home. And I'd rather drive to a location because I'm always on the planes. But in the beginning, I was using it for my advantage. I was exploring the world and doing everything. And now I'm at a point where I just go home. I actually fly for the day and come right back home.
Every day?
3 times a week.
Oh, wow. What's the last place you've been?
I went to San Diego and back.
What's the longest day trip you've been on?
Costa Rica, because South.
Ain't no way I'm coming home when I hit Costa Rica. It's going to be a few days, but you came right on back.
Right on back. Costa Rica, come right back. 10-hour duty day, done for the day.
All right, so pandemic hits. You sitting at home, you making money, right? And I actually said it. I said it, man. During the pandemic is when, any pandemic is when millionaires are born. People sitting around thinking. Not to mention, our government was giving away money for people to do something, right? And now, of course, we know the people out there scamming. But you sitting at home, and the passion kicked in. What was it?
Actually, the toy store at Amazon kicked in first. And so I do sell toys, and currently, sell toys. Amazon ships it for me and do everything. So I send the toys to them. They ship it out to the buyers, and then I move on. But then I started doing...
Well, you make this sound so easy, right? And this is the problem with YouTube interviews. People would be like, yo, I woke up and I did this and then I made $1 million. It didn't happen like that for you, right?
It did not happen like that. You have to realize that you have to advertise and market. And
wait, you got to go back, though. How did you get to the Amazon store? What introduced you to, I got to do the Amazon store?
TikTok.
All right, so that's what I was trying to get you.
TikTok gave me a step-by-step, like, hey, you can start, doing automations and all of this thing. Yeah. And I was like, okay, let me see if I can do it.
So you scrolling, and the reason I had to go here, because I'm giving you credit. I don't care how big my TikTok page get. I remember talking to you like, Marcus, get you a TikTok page. Get you and your son a TikTok page, but that's another story. So you scrolling the streets of TikTok.
Scrolling.
All right, and then... You saw an ad or something just came up and said, get an Amazon store?
One of the content creators. And they were actually, a lot of people go on TikTok for dances and music and stuff. I was going on for business ideas, business to help me, So one of the content creators gave me step-by-step on how to open up, to get my EIN number, how to create, what is the name of your business, how to open up Amazon store. Yeah. And I proceeded to follow the steps.
Okay, now this is when you started saying toys. What made you, so we open up an Amazon store. What I'm going to put in that joint? How'd you go from there?
So I started looking at what are the return rates on a lot of things and what could I do to be able to have a purpose and a plan for something, what it could be educational. So most of my toys are educational toys. Mm-hmm. So
you already know what they think in the comments. In the comments, they like, what kind of toys, right? Do I need to open up the
educational kids toys?
Yeah, okay. Did you not have a lot of toys growing up or something? Like, what made you go toys?
No, actually, I love, my nieces and all of us, we always did a lot of things, a lot of craftings and stuff like that. So I really wanted to focus on the kids when I opened up.
All right, so TikTok teaches you the Amazon store. You figure out the passion of I'm doing toys. How well did toys do?
Currently, it's doing well. You know, like it's still up and running. I'm making money, and you know, especially now that
You're making big money right now. But go ahead.
The holiday season's coming, so.
All right, so these toys is this pandemic era? Because now you're an author. Like, you went from toys to books.
Toys to books.
All right, so did the toy game slow down, or?
No, after I got it set up and everything, and it runs on its own. And
so the toy store is still rolling.
Yeah, so the toy store is still rolling.
Sheesh. Okay.
Amazon handles everything. I just check to make sure that there's no returns, no complaints, you know, or anything
and pick up a check.
And they deposit the check.
Oh my God! All right, so man, that's amazing. Give me a toy store, right? Books. You got into the book game. Because why? Was it something somebody else said, books?
When the pandemic, I started doing, again, crafting with my nieces and stuff. And so I went into Instagram and I saw someone doing, you know, like the Canva out thing. So I said, let me try to see it. And I tried to create my first book and it was kind of crazy. It was looking all crazy. But then I realized that I absolutely love doing it. I can be on there for hours. And then knowing that it could help someone, you know, mentally, physically, and I saw that the depression rate is, you know, 280 million a year, and 21 million actually active that will have a full blown.
What I love about that is you can admit in all your success today that the first book you was doing was trash. All right, you know what you should do? You should go back and put that book out as is. And I just want royalties on this joint. That book should be called "This Is My First Trash Book."
You know what? I might do that. I might reword that.
Don't let your dreams stop. This is my trash book, right? What was the book about?
The book was about self-help and strategic journaling and things like that. So it was really kind of like a 30-page little book.
Yeah. That book didn't do anything. Why didn't you stop? And what made you go, I'm doing another book?
Because I realized that there's people that need mental clarity and mental help and to focus and to keep organized in their lives. And self-care is so important nowadays. With the pandemic, a lot of people now, the jobs, you work from home now. They're giving 4-day weeks. They're letting you be with your family and kids. A lot of jobs realize that pandemic needed to slow us down, and it didn't need to be a fast-paced world. It needs to be about family.
So when you came up with the second book, no, let's just skip to it. What book hit? What was the book joint that hit?
It was actually like the journals with the grief book that actually kind of hit, where it actually showed that people are suffering from losses and they are not able to admit that they need to go to therapy.
Ooh, that's all of us. That's a lot of us. Yeah.
And then, you know, and not having faith, they lose the faith because they're angry.
Yeah.
And so
that's good.
Giving the grief book out there, and people are realizing that I can keep the memory alive and have acceptance of what 5 stages of grief I'm going through. Yeah. That right there was the book that, and so I did one in Spanish. Actually, I'll show it to you. I did one in Spanish and in English. So
millions. Big millions. Okay. All right. So when we're talking about books, and I know everybody I know she made that bread. All right. So when you're talking about books, these are not big encyclopedia books, or because a lot of us have dreams of being authors, right? But I ain't trying to write a 120-page book. I'm just not.
No, so being an author is basically writing journals, activity books, planners, organization books. So that's where I focus on making your life simple and easy, but also having that self-care and focus on yourself at the same time.
And you did nutrition and then you traveled. Now you're the author and you're doing grief books. So you didn't have to be a professional expert to teach this. You just came from the heart or from people that you know?
Came from the heart, and seeing that people close to me. In the pandemic, so many people lost so many family members. And that was the thing, is to focus, or cancer journals and stuff like that. So it made me focus on that. It's a need.
Then I look up on social media, and it felt like Ida was dropping books every week, right?
It's
Did you start?
It was once every 2 weeks.
No,
it felt like it though.
Because I was gonna say, well, maybe the success made you hungry, and I'm in the lab writing books, but you did the grief book, and then I saw children's books, I saw fitness books, and I know on social media you cook. So you got cookbooks.
Yeah.
So the passion of it is anybody who has a passion for something can write a book on it.
Yeah. I mean, the simple thing is just to start, and then you can, if you're writing a full book with chapters in it, then you'll just get an editor and just get it done, and then that you can just publish the book. And Amazon gave me that easy format to do it. Just hey, sign up, we'll do it, and we'll go ahead and we'll send your books out to everybody.
So Amazon is the way to go.
Amazon is one of the ways to go. I go through a publisher, and the publisher sends it out to Barnes and Noble, to a Walmart, to even Netherlands, and.
So you just wake up in the morning and just start looking at reports and millions.
Would you stop saying millions, because it's not. It's a slow process for me. But
you don't want
it's not about the money. It's the purpose.
Okay.
So even if I get one book that day,
I
did my job because there's somebody that needed it.
All right. I love that, man. Ide in here, author, traveler, nutritionist, woman of God, the whole nine inside the Blessed Beats Live show. So Amazon takes care of everything. So you still have to do the creative part, right?
No, Amazon don't take care of everything. My publisher does.
Okay.
And then, but I went through Amazon at first, and but as far as the toys, Amazon takes care of everything.
What about the fitness stuff? Because you was doing like fitness.
I have my fitness bands. They're on Amazon too. Yeah, so I do, and I have digital products too on Etsy, and so they're printable digital products, that invitations.
All of these passions came out, would you just say because of the pandemic?
Because of COVID. Yeah, I just realized that there was a need and a passion, and I loved it. And to know that I can help someone in some form, making it easy for their life, to help them cope with grief, to help them have self-care, self-love, self-esteem. Even the books I make, I purposely make sure that there's a need.
Future books coming out. At the second, you don't know what it's going to be because...
No, I'm actually writing a book about depression, and that one will be out probably by January. Okay. And so try to focus on that by then.
I see you brought some of the books in here. Yeah, you got to show the camera some of your books, and then let's kind of talk about them, because what I want people to see is, again, you don't have to have big, long pages, and mine's going to be like the 3 letters, the cat and the hat, turn the page. What you got right there?
Okay, so the first book that I have is called Embracing Hope, and this is for the cancer patients that are going through. So I do have affirmations in here, as well as prompted guided questions and biblical quotes that goes into the healing process. So this is here, and it has gratitude journal inside of it. So that's the front of it, and that's the back.
Do you get a chance to mark your own rate, or how you price your joints?
Yeah, so the publisher tells me how much it costs for it to print, and then we decide from there how much it is going to be from there.
All right, what else you got?
This one here is the Preserving the Healers. This is for the medical professionals. They're always healing us, but they never take time to heal themselves.
Ooh, that's good.
You know, so I did a self-care checklist as well as prompted questions.
Was that a crossword puzzle I seen in there? Some kind of, I thought I saw a crossword puzzle. I might be tripping. What is, okay, I thought that was a
checklist.
Okay, I was going to say crossword puzzles. I'm about that life. Okay.
Yeah, so, and then it has also affirmations in here to remind them that they're worth healing everyone.
Love it.
So
Love
that's
it.
one.
All right.
So these 2 books, and I'll put both of this. This is
the
the
Spanish.
and this is the English one, and this is the grief book.
Okay.
And so in here I have
that's the joint right there. Okay, that's the one.
So here I have biblical quotes in here. You actually place the picture of your loved one in here. And then it has the biblical quotes as well as prompted questions. And then it gives you a guidance with a thing on there. So that's the Spanish one.
And I'm going to tell you why I'm so impressed with that. Again, if that was the one or both of them, the ones that actually took off, I'm expected to hear like a thesis and all of that, and
they're simple books, but they're keepsakes. Great for gifts. instead of buying a card and flowers.
Yeah.
You know, the flowers died, the card goes in the thing, but this here is a memory that they can travel with them.
I love it. You got two more. Two more. Mm-hmm.
And so this one here is the Heavenly Word Search book, and it's actually biblical quotes in here. And it actually...
There go the crossword puzzles, yes.
Crossword puzzles. So I have theme, I have even other crossword puzzles in here. So this one here is the biblical one. Mm-hmm. And then this one here is for autism kids. I don't have that one. I got to get that one. Yeah. And so this one here is for autism kids, and I purposely, like, everything I focus on is to help. So that's the front of it, and then this is the back of it. So different workbooks, different things, and so.
From start to finish, how long does it take from thought to production? About
a week and a half.
Yeah. Because
when I focus on one book, I'm giving it all.
And that's a week and a half, not even long at all. Now, you just showed us those books right there. You just showed us those books. How can people get a hold of those books right now? Amazon store or?
Yeah, Amazon, they can type in my name, Hayde Miller, Hayde Miller. On my website, www.iamhaydemiller.com, HAYDE Miller.com. TikTok as well.
Reach it, y'all.
I am Hayde Miller on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes. Instagram as well, the same.
All right. Cool. And then I'm gonna take the autism book. I gotta say it on camera. I gotta take that book home right there. Hayde, man, I appreciate you stopping through. So on your social media, you're cooking a lot.
I do cook on my personal social media.
What's your go-to cook dish?
Actually, I love to fry fish, red snapper with rice and beans, because, I am from the Latin, Panamanian.
The next time you come in here, I don't want a book, I want a meal.
Okay.
That's the deal?
You definitely will have a meal.
I love it. All right, guys, stick and stay. That's Hayde Miller. You want more on that, I will put it on blessedbeats.com, the links to where you can get to that at. But sis, thank you so much for stopping through the show. This is the Blessed Beats Live Weekend Syndicated Show.